Okay. Oh my God. All right. Breaking news. The mega fight that the boxing world has been anticipating. So Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford is now off. Now listen, I know I was getting this the DMs and everything, and I usually don't go on at this time of night, but you guys wanted to know if I knew anything due to my relationship with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, my relationship with Ring Magazine. You guys are like, ShowBizz, what do you know? I want to tell you, I don't know anything. So now all we can do is speculate. It feels to me, you know, they had the stadium, Raiders Stadium. They had, they said that they agreed, everything was great, and then out of the sky, it's off. It's off. That feels to me like it's an emotional response. So that's how it feels. I'm only speculating, but it feels to me that someone bumped heads somewhere and just said, well, forget the whole thing. That's how it kind of feels to me, okay? This cannot be the case, but that's how it feels. I tell you this. Canelo versus Jake Paul bet not have replaced the fight. That's what's, you know, I was warming up to the idea of Canelo versus Jake Paul because they were going to give us the most anticipated bout this year, okay? Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. Because listen, like I said, I loved when I didn't mind Gervonta Tank Davis fighting Hector Garcia because he was giving us Ryan Garcia after that, right? Canelo Alvarez versus Yildirim, fine. They were giving us, Billy Joe Saunders after that. So, when that happens, okay, all right, you have like a tune-up fight or whatever. Canelo versus Jake Paul better not be replacing the fight. Maybe something better is happening. Maybe we're getting David Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez Mexican Independence Day weekend instead. That would be great. I mean, something has to replace the date. Maybe, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh or Team Nello or whoever is like, hey man, Terence Crawford versus Canelo, Mexican Independence Day weekend, or David Benavidez, or like Canelo's warming up to date, fighting David Benavidez. There must be something for that date, is what I'm saying. It could be that. I'm crossing my fingers that is it. His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, this is the first time there's like a huge disappointment, and if it's just a huge disappointment on its own, that would shock me. It really would. If there's something greater, and don't get it confused, Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez is a greater matchup than Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford. If there's something greater, we're 100% fine. All right, so let's hope we still may get Canelo versus Jake Paul, okay? But you see how things would just change out of thin air, all right? We're going to still have Canelo versus Jake Paul, and we have something to replace the Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight that is a greater matchup. Where does Terence Bud Crawford go from here? Terence Crawford, if he still wants the Canelo fight, I'll say he goes to 160 and then go to 168. But he's not getting any younger. Terence Crawford can retire, but that seems kind of dull for Crawford. Crawford wants to go out with a splash. Crawford is too great of a fighter. I don't see Crawford retiring. He's just, this could probably make him feel like retirement, like, oh man, this sucks. But Crawford is so great of a fighter, and he has yet to find anyone who can really satisfy that, right? Like, I've always saw Crawford as one of those guys where it's like, nobody has ever gave me a go, right? His toughest fight is actually Madrimov. And Terence Crawford, though, when it comes to, maybe some discomfort here and there, maybe, the scorecards, Crawford never felt in danger of losing to Madrimov. He never felt outmatched. So even if the fight is close, Crawford didn't feel outmatched. He didn't feel like he had to go and, like Teddy Atlas said, go through the house and check all these doors, all right? Not with that fight. He wanted Canelo. I don't think he'll be satisfied until he finds that guy. And if Canelo is still on the radar for Terence Crawford, there's a lot we have to learn. And I'm pretty sure we'll learn tomorrow, and I'll give you a follow-up video tomorrow. But, so we're going to make this kind of short and sweet. But if Terence Bud Crawford still wants Canelo Alvarez, I see him trying to hunt down Canelo by going through the proper steps and going up and building the fight properly. Listen, if Canelo fights Jake Paul May, which it sounds like that is the case, he better have something that people would love afterwards. And honestly, to me, you guys saw when I said it in my live stream, I said Canelo this year, he wouldn't be trying, anymore. He just getting a bag. In my opinion, fighting Jake Paul and Terence Crawford isn't him digging deep either in those two fights, in my opinion. Okay, there's going to be people who think differently. Canelo Alvarez, I just thought of something. People may go and jump into the comments and say Canelo dud Crawford or something silly like that. But I digress. I think if Canelo, the best way to balance out this year is for him to take on Jake Paul and then take on the Mexican monster, David Benavidez. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. ShowBizz for dope. Listen, I was never too hot or hyped for that matchup, Crawford and Canelo. I never was, but you guys were. The fans were. So I think this is a bit of a downer and a shocker for the fans. Me, I was never too hot on that fight, okay? But I would push it to the end of the earth for you guys. So let me know in the comments if you still want the fight. But as of right now, according to Ring Magazine, unless they have been, hacked, the fight is off. I'm out!